Hi there. Welcome back to Vedic Living. Today I thought let's talk about the main difference between sidereal and tropical astrology. Now that we have kind of an idea of what Jyotisha is and where it fits in the big picture of the Vedas, it's time for us to talk about the main difference between the East and the West. While Jyotisha or Vedic astrology did originate in India, various other regions on the planet were still practicing their own version of astrology, be it for timekeeping purposes or for predictive purposes. There were diverse systems in cultures like very rich cultures like the Babylonians, the Chinese, the Egyptians, the Greeks, and the Mayans. Remember the Mayan calendar? So today we will look at the principal difference between Eastern and Western. And Eastern is Jyotisha and Western is Western zodiac, which Western astrologers use. So Eastern astrology uses the sidereal calculations in order to come up with the chart. And Western astrology uses the tropical calculations. So that's where the difference comes in. Now, what does that mean? And we are going to explain that. In the West, the starting point of the chart, which we typically call the spring equinox, okay, is in the month of March. Okay, it's based on the Roman astrologer Ptolemy's ephemeris, which he created that ephemeris sometime in the 1st century AD. So using that ephemeris today, in simple words, what this means is that tropical astrology considers the spring equinox to be in March, and it resides in the constellation of Aries. Okay. Now, the whole premise here is the assumption to use the same position that was back in the 1st century AD to this day is based on the premise that the backdrop of stars is so many millions of light years away. Their movement is infinitesimally small, right? It's really small. We can consider them to be stationary. But in reality, do the stars move? They do, right? They don't move as fast as the planets that are moving across their backdrop. However, even though the stars are really far away and the constellations look like, they're millions of light years away, they still do move at a very slow speed, which is approximately 1 degree every 72 years. Okay. Now, if you apply that calculation from 1st century AD all the way to 2017, the stars' backdrop or the constellations have approximately moved around 25 to 26 degrees. So this specific index is called the precession of the equinox. It's how much the equinox has moved backwards. So in reality, in the sky today, the spring equinox is no longer in the month of March. It's in the month of April. This means that if you were born with planets in a particular sign, per tropical astrology, per Western astrology, say you have Sun in Aries, right? And if those planets are within the first 25 to 26 degrees of a house, then in sidereal astrology, when you draw your chart, you will see that the planets would move to the previous house. So if you think you have Sun in Aries as per Western astrology, in Vedic astrology, you may have your Sun in Pisces. So if you take a tropical astrology chart and then you move it 26 degrees, just like rotate it 26 degrees backwards, that is when you get the Eastern astrology chart. This is the first and main difference between tropical and sidereal astrology. There'll be a shift of 25 to 26 degrees in all the planets because of the precession of the equinoxes. A big bone of contention today is how can there be two zodiacs? Which one is correct? The answer depends on our perspective. Western astrology is characterized by seasonal equinoxes, and Vedic astrology is characterized by fixed stars. So personally, I have not delved into the Western astrology since to me it makes sense to look at the chart or the position of the planet based on when the soul is born on Earth, with precision taken into account, rather than using something from the first century AD. But using tropical astrology to me means I am charting a soul which is born in the first century AD. However, that's my opinion. And many of my esteemed colleagues in the Western astrology world, many of them are very close friends of mine, they swear by how it works. And I do respect their views. So I kind of just let it be, but I practice Vedic astrology. And a lot of it depends on our perspective, on our point of view. Now, let's come to the second main difference between Eastern and Western astrology. And this comes from a more philosophical point of view. Vedic culture imposes a spiritual viewpoint on the natal chart. Okay? If you look at the sacred writings of ancient India, like the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, the Puranas, the Brahmanas, the Upanishads, you will see a thread connecting all these scriptures. Even though they are all separate books, right? There's still a common thread that's connecting them, and that common thread is spirituality and philosophy and the concept of karma. So this thread is deeply ingrained in Vedic astrology, right? Because it does originate from those Puranas. Remember, we saw in my first video that Jyotisha is one of the main Vedangas. So it pretty much embodies the same principles and the same concepts. So Western astrology has a more modern and cultural viewpoint as opposed to a spiritual viewpoint. So that's the difference between the tropical and sidereal. Now, to me, it's so come back next week, and it's going to be really exciting because next week we are going to start with the first house of the natal chart. What does the first house mean? What does it embody? What does it mean to have certain planets in the first house? What does it mean to have the first house in certain constellations or nakshatras? And it's really exciting. It's like you guys are learning Vedic astrology from scratch, and I'm so excited for you. So come back next week and we'll talk about all that. Have a fun week, guys. Bye.